What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? What's happening? Welcome to another episode of the Gas Station Podcast, the fueling ground for the mind, the body, and the soul. I'm your host, Legacy, as always. Trying to get myself situated, set up, so we can vibe a little bit. Got a story that I want to talk about today, man. First, did you get your 3 W's? Did you get your 3 W's? Did you get your word, 30 minutes word, 30 minutes workout, 30 minutes of wisdom today? You know, man, we're a group, man. Every day we're constantly feeding, constantly growing, and we're trying to get that strong. We're trying to get that character strong. We're trying to get your muscle strong. Today on the gas station, man, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with Shannon Sharp. I think it's important. Shannon Sharp, Mike Epps. Shannon Sharp and Mike Epps. Let me give me a sip on that. So I'm over here. Oh, Shannon Sharp and Mike Epps here. So I'm looking at all these videos and all this stuff. And I've been watching all of this stuff starting off early with Cat Williams. You know, all the stuff before Shannon Sharp. I like Shannon Sharp. I think Shannon Sharp is cool. I like his show. I think he got a good show. I like Skip too. I like you know, Stephen ain't but Stephen's cool. He's all right. I don't dislike him, but I'm not no fan of Stephen A's. But I'm going to talk about today what's going on with what I believe happened with Mike Epps and Shannon Sharp. And let me say this. I listen from the comedy show where Shannon was, where Mike Epps did the comedy show, called him gay and all of that stuff. I listened to the Shannon talking about that he don't care nothing about all that. He calling me gay. What I care about is, you know, him lying on me. Which I also thought that was a bunch of bullshit too. And I didn't think what Mike Epps said was too, you know, just having fun, and I don't think it was too bad. My opinion. And apparently he didn't think it was too bad too, because he said all that was cool. What he didn't care about was with him lying on him. But what he say lied was so trivial. It's like, he done called you gay and everything else, and all you worrying about is because he said he texts you versus you texting him. Come on, man. Let me get a sip of that. Like Shannon show, man. I got, you know, I usually didn't put my bill on the show. I used to do my bill, but Shannon helped me, man. I appreciate Shannon. Let me first of all say I appreciate Shannon. I like fucking Shannon's show. And I love Mike Epps too. So Shannon snaps on Mike Epps, right? So I'm watching this podcast. And so Mike Epps telling him, hey, man, man, I'm old 50 years old, man. I ain't doing no motherfucking fighting, nigga. In fact, you coming to my hometown in a week or so for the All-Star. You gonna bump into me. You in my hometown. You know what I'm saying? And I really love Mike Epps' response to that. Cause I even watched on with Club Shay Shay and Ocho, you know what I'm saying, Chad Johnson, Ocho Johnson, whatever you want to call him. But I like Chad a lot too. So really, I'm not no hater on either side. But I'm gonna give y'all a breakdown. They thinking that the reason why, because during All-Star weekend, it was saying that you know, it's really gonna help Mike Epps. But you might do that. I don't disagree with that. But I think the underlying story is way bigger than that. And I'm finna give it to y'all. Finna give it to you. I got a whole totally different perspective on the whole Shannon Sharp, Mike Epps thing. It's something that I don't think nobody, I ain't gonna say nobody, I think that people gonna know or already know, but haven't gave the commentary like I'm finna get a commentary. Because people are blinded by what I call the bullshit. And see, I've been watching Shannon's career progress from when he first started with Skip. I watched Skip with him. I like Skip, and I watched Skip's show before he even had Stephen A. on there. Back when goddamn, what's the name, Jalen Rose and them were going off on his ass, and he had everybody on his show when he used to just have different guests. So I got a chance to watch. I'm not going to say watch all of his career, but I got a chance to watch his career. I watched enough of his career progress, and I've always appreciated Shannon's take on things. I've always appreciated the way Shannon did things. So Shannon was Club Shay Shay and how he left the Skip show and went over the Stephen A. show. I thought that was a little tacky on my end. I didn't think that was slick. You know what I'm saying? I didn't care for that. But it is what it is. They paid him, like, you know, sometimes money, you know, Hollywood probably cut their business anyway, so I can't really get into that too much because I ain't in Hollywood and I ain't in no Hollywood circles. But, and I didn't like the way, what's his name, Stephen A. Smith recruited Shannon. It's opinion based, just opinion based. But I didn't so much care for the way he recruited Shannon over to his show, especially coming from Skip's. Now, if he did it from anybody else's show, cool, whatever. But Skip's show, I didn't like the way he recruited. Now, if Shannon would have did that and pushed and did that on his own is another thing. But the way Stephen A. broadcasted, I just didn't care for his style of doing it. Just my opinion. It's all opinion based, and nothing factual. And like I say, Stephen A. is I don't dislike him. I don't like him. I don't have a love for Stephen A. Well, like I have a love for Shannon. I have a love for Skip. I have a love for a lot of other brothers. And you know, but I don't dislike him. Just like Jason Whitlock. Same with Jason Whitlock. I don't have a love or dislike for Jason Whitlock. You know, I like some things Jason Whitlock said. I don't like some things, but I'm not in love with Jason Whitlock. I don't hate Jason Whitlock like a lot of people do. I just cause I fuck with Jason Whitlock on some issues, and then I think he's crazy on some other issues. Same thing with Stephen A. I like some issues, but then I think that he's, you know, so it kind of neutralizes it. So it's like I don't love him, I don't hate him. They just there. I wouldn't miss either one of them. You know, but I like Shannon. I love Mike Epps now. That Mike Epps funny as hell. You know what I'm saying? I like Mike Epps' response to Shannon. But let me go deeper than all of that to what I want to talk about. And then I'm on, you know, this Legacy Move, this is Gas Station Podcast. So I always want to give something. At the end, I'm gonna narrate something positive out of it, because that's just what I do. I always got to give a little teaching lesson, teaching moment out of this. Now, Shannon did Shannon was getting good guests on the show, on the Club Shay Shay. Got to speed things up. And Shannon also, he also, you know, he did the Cat Williams interview. Everybody knows the Cat Williams. I listened to Cat Williams' interview. Whether you loved it, hated it, or what. But as everybody knows, that Cat Williams interview blew Shannon ass up. Blew his ass up. But guess what my take on it is? I believe Shannon feels like that was, and he may not never admit it because he got all the views out of the world, this, that, and the other. But I believe that Shannon feels like if he could have took any interview back that he would have never done, is that Cat Williams interview. Why, Dominic, why would he take that Cat interview? He's getting rich, he's making money, he's doing this, that, and the other behind that Cat Williams interview. I think that the Mike Epps situation was the dagger from the Cat Williams interview. I think he loves the notoriety, but his character hates he ever did that Cat Williams interview. He didn't even look comfortable when he did that Cat Williams interview. If y'all watch it. That controversy to that level and how that was is not him whatsoever. He does good interviews. He does great show. And even though he opens up so his people can dialogue, I get all of that. But I think that he really had to pick sides with that Cat Williams interview. And that Cat Williams interview, ultimately, he feels like that was even though it wasn't career suicide, and it looks on the surface, all blah, blah, and that was an awesome interview, but I believe that morally and how he feels inside and who he is, that was the worst interview he could have done, even though it's got all these views and it's all of this rah-rah and all this attention. But that's not who Shannon Sharpe is. And I think when that happened with Mike Epps, I think that was just the final straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah, I think that was the final straw that broke the camel's back. Everybody ain't about all of that controversy. I think he likes to have fun. He's jovial. He likes to keep it witty, you know. And he likes to jug a little bit. That's who Shannon is. But I know in my heart that the Cat Williams interview was over the top for Shannon. Now, that interview would have been a good interview for Stephen A. because he likes all of that. But Stephen A. don't know how to get, because you can see his podcast. It's podcast. Then I got to admit, Stephen A.'s podcast has gotten a little bit better than it used to be. But his podcast ain't really hitting on them. So he's trying to piggyback off a lot of things that Shannon does, or, you know, so he can kind of get that notoriety. But he's second fiddle to Shannon's podcast. But I think ultimately Shannon know he fucked his podcast up, because now his podcast, despite all of the viewership, now his podcast has to be a trashy podcast. His podcast has to be a trashy podcast. His podcast, and he can bounce back from his podcast, but his podcast is not going to be the same podcast moving forward. You say, oh yeah, but he got 21 Savage, he got Desi, he got, you know, all these dudes. Yeah, Yeah, he did. He got all of them. And I like all of them. And Shannon is a great commentator when it comes to dialoguing with his guests. And maybe in the future, his guests will be able to heal from that. But Shannon is going into a new reputation. And I personally think that Shannon doesn't like the new reputation or the new person that people are looking at him as. And I know that on top, you know, it's a kind of a two-headed sword. You understand? A two-headed coin, because I know on one end it's one thing, on the other end it's another thing. You know, and the notoriety is good, but also the bullshit. So when you go up like he go up, especially with as much controversy, it's, you know, and see the thing about Shannon's career, where he didn't need that Cat Williams interview, his trajectory was going like this in the first place, without the bullshit. It's almost like he feel like, and I'm gonna say this, almost like you feel like you sold your soul to the devil for, you understand me, for fame and fortune. But the price, but the reward and the price is not the same. Even though it looks on the surface like, oh man, it's great. Oh, it's a great interview. It's cool. And people are congratulatory and this and that. But I don't believe in my heart. I believe in my heart that if he could take that interview back, he would take it back. Don't get me wrong, I like Cat. I like Cat Williams. I ain't got no problem with Cat. I like the other side too. I like all the brothers he was talking about. I like all of them. Like D.L. Hughley. D.L. Hughley, I used to didn't even like D.L. Hughley, but shit, D.L. Hughley, you know, I ain't like, not like a person, but I just think he wasn't funny to me, but he growed on me. He funny. Say he like one of my top comedians now. I didn't like Eddie Griffin. Eddie Griffin growed on me. He like one of my top comedians now. But those were comedians that had to grow on me. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I respect they craft. I respect their comedy, and I respect what they doing, man. So, you know, shout out to two comedians that I didn't think were funny when I was getting, they had to grow on me, but I think that these are great comedians, and that is Eddie Griffin and D.L. Hughley. Now, getting back to, like, you know, like I told you, I always like to round my shows off with a little something that will with something positive. And so I want y'all to think about this. I want y'all to think about Shannon Sharp. I want you to think about what happened with him and the comedian out of Indianapolis. Y'all know it now. Mike Epps, excuse me, y'all. Mike Epps, he had a brain fart, man. Let me get a drink. Get brain fluid. But anyway, I don't think his blow up, even though it was directed at Mike Epps, but I don't think his blow up had anything to do with Mike Epps. I think his blow up had to do with all of the shit that is coming at him from this Cat Williams interview. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I think that's the root cause of his anxiety and his frustration. And I think that Mike Epps being the final straw was his punching bag, or what he thought would be his punching bag. And it did come off kind of like he didn't want it, but, you know, but I don't think Shannon no punk or scared of him or anything like that. I don't think. Like they're saying he shouldn't go to Indianapolis. I don't see that whatsoever. But I do see that he is frustrated. And that frustrated reared his ugly head. And what I want to tell all of y'all, bringing it back to my gas station community, my gas station family, you making legacy moves, man. Sometimes short gratification or temporary happiness can give you a lifetime of fucking sadness. Not saying that you're going to have a lifetime of sadness or anything like that, but I guarantee you, I don't care what nobody says, and nobody is talking about this. I guarantee you, if Shannon Sharp could take that Cat Williams interview back, I don't give a damn how many views he got. I don't give a damn how impressed everybody is with all of those views. Shannon Sharp's disposition, his whole body language tells you that that was the worst fucking mistake he could have did in TV. And if he ever give a memoir, he'll tell you that, man, even though it got all those views and all this notoriety and all of this little short-term fame and glory, shit, his career was already going and it was a good long-term trajectory. And I believe that he turned a long-term trajectory into, and he could bounce back. Let me repeat myself. He could bounce, because I always bounce. I'm the bounce back king, so I know bounce back from making stupid decisions or making decisions I regret. And hear people, hey man, nah, I make decisions I regret too, just like anybody else. But we can always overcome them. We can always make better decisions. And it's not that Shannon did anything right or wrong. It's just the dynamic and the perception of who Shannon is now, even though he's feeding the bear or he's feeding the beast, that's not who Shannon is, because I've watched his career, like I told you. And if anybody would admit it, I know it's hard to admit it because you think people think you're player hating him because of the notoriety, of the viewership, and it's still climbing, and everybody, oh, Cat Williams was telling the truth. Who gives a fuck? Are he telling the truth or lying? Then, not only on top of that, he has Monique with the same bullshit. Yeah, I don't have a problem with Monique either. But he asked her with the same thing, man. And so I think that he's like, man, this show is starting to get detoured, out of control, going in the wrong direction. So I just want to say to my brother Shannon, get back on the right direction, baby. You can overcome this. And I don't even think that, and you may not admit, I'm a small guy, you don't know who I am. But I just want to send a message in the air, man. Hey, man. Yo, you had the perfect career. You had the career that everybody would idolize. You surpassing everybody in the way your career was going. Your career choice. And I'm gonna slap you. I'm gonna slap you in the face with this one, Shannon. I'm gonna slap you in the face with this one, Shannon. This is a love slap. This ain't just a love tap. It ain't no slap. It's a love tap. Yo, don't take your career from class to trash. You get your beer, get your black and mild. You know what I'm saying? Keep your swagger, man. You got the best show. You got the best show on TV, man. You made Skip's show the best show, bro. I don't give a fuck what he said the numbers was, man. I didn't even watch that shit over there. I watched you and Shannon, you and Skip, man. And you as a loyal fan, it's a group, it's a whole bunch of us. Followed y'all right on over there to FS1. You know. And even when you left, even though, like I said, I didn't like the way Stephen A. did it. My personal opinion, just my personal opinion. You know. I don't hate him or want to make him into a villain behind it. I just didn't care for it. I just didn't like the way Stephen A. did it. I just didn't appreciate it. But I don't have any dislike or disloyalty or hatred for it behind this. I just want to make that clear, but I just didn't like it. It just wasn't my style. Just like I don't think that, even though the Cat Williams, and I fuck with Cat, I like Cat. Even though I don't think the Cat Williams interview was your style. And all the notoriety and all the glitter and glam, I still think that you've been inside behind it. Little love tap, little love tap. And I think that you reacted at Mike Epps because you didn't like the dynamic of the Moniques and you know, it's cool, you know. But I just think that, your show has made a turn. You know, you got some good young viewers, man, but man, you know, and that show was for somebody else, not you. That show was for somebody else, not you. Shannon Sharp, man, little shout out to you, man, you know, and I could be totally off point, but I'm just, you know, I'm a reader, natural reader. And it's written all over your face. And Mike Epps, Shannon Sharp didn't have nothing. That was not directed to you. That was just his outlet because it was easy, it was convenient, and you were there and you said something and you fueled it, and so you were a punching bag for a deeper problem because Shannon had a great situation going, and I think Shannon feels, even though everybody is glorifying the bullshit, I think Shannon has a different viewpoint, and even I have a different viewpoint. And I liked the show, and it was funny, and it was, you know, it's cool, but I just don't think that is the Shannon show. Even with the black and miles and the cognac. Shout out, much love, man, to the Shannon Sharp Show. Much love to Mike Epps, man. Much love to Stephen A. Show, Jason Willock Show. Much love to Skip Bayless, my boy, man. I love his show too. I like how he got all the brothers on there doing good things, man. You know, a lot of people talk about Skip. I like Skip. I fuck with Skip, man. And I just want everybody to understand that the message that I'm trying to bring is sometimes the thing that a moment of happiness can bring a lifetime of bitterness, man. One moment of happiness, one moment of grandeur or grandiousness can spoil your whole fucking life. Or spoil the whole season. I ain't gonna say spoil your whole life, but it can spoil the whole season, man. So be careful in what you do and who you do it with. Because 1 minute of happiness can bring a lot of internal pain, man. Hey, man, this Legacy Move Gas Station Podcast, man. Reach out, shout out, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all keep making legacy moves, man. Make sure you get your 3 W's every day. Make sure you get your 30 minutes word, 30 minutes wisdom, 30 minutes workout, and make sure you make up your bed every day. Love your mama, love your sister, love your family, man. You know, and say no to drugs and don't do nothing that is gonna put you in harm's way, or try to do your best to stay out of harm's way and stay out of foolishness, man. Take care of your community, take care of your people. You understand me, man? Let's live a life that's gonna make legacy moves, man. Legacy Move Gas Station Podcast. Shannon Sharp, Mike Epps, much love, and I'm out.